Alright, I'm showing here how the Ionian shares in the barred. The Ionian is part of actually the Locrian box. So here's Locrian 7R 2 3 4 5 6 7R 2 3 4, up to the second octave of Locrian, 7 to 7 to 7. You see how it goes in a line there, 7 to 7 to 7, like that. Okay, so the Ionian kind of lives in that cage. R2 3 4 5 6 7 R 2 3 4 5 6 7 R. All right, and that's going to warp over. So the R will be on top of the R. Now, if there's a capo, so let's say that warps over, and it's important just to do whatever seems like the right thing to do here. All right, make sure it does whatever the right thing to do. We're going to do it. If it's time to go to the store, we'll go to the store. So here we go. Warped it over here. I'm going to try to get it lined up, a little bit, so it looks normal. So this is like a keyboard. Ignore this, because we're not going to be able to get that. We don't want it either. It's a no play. So this is the Locrian on the real guitar, okay, and still the Ionian lives inside it. R 2 3 4 5 6 7 R 2 3 4 5 6 7 R. There's 2 octaves of Ionian and 2 octaves of Locrian. 7 R 2 3 4 5 6 7 R 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then just a couple of extra scale members up there. So that's interesting, that the Ionian lives within the Locrian cage, okay, and that's why cage just kind of encompasses it encompasses certain a couple of other, the 4th and the 7th. It is in there with it. So we'll hit on that subject again. However, in this stack here, which is the open capo scale stack, now it's getting cold in here. I'm going to throw on this deal here. The Ionian no longer lives within a normal cage here, okay? Because remember, this pattern stack here that we're talking about here, all right, it's a very important pattern stack because it can be played at any time. You can play this pattern stack for the rest of your life anywhere on the keyboard, okay? It's just that you won't have the barred pattern stack to play, which has other advantages. It stays within the cage. This goes into the next cage. What are the cages? We've talked about the cages before, okay? If I wanted to search for the cages in my charts here, the cages would be something like here. So this is the cage. Actually, this isn't the cages. This is still working with the larger pattern. So we have the cages somewhere here. Go back in time to the cages. We're still working with here's where I'm getting into the longer pattern again and again and again, and just, it takes me weeks to get through something like a new pattern like that. This is still the longer pattern. We could talk about the cages here. Because remember, so this is the, we just have to square them off. So we'll get our friend the drawing tool again. But this is unwarped again, so, we have to take the whole thing. This is the Locrian cage, the Phrygian cage, and the Lydian cage. Alright? C-shaped is the Phrygian. But it doesn't show, because remember, this is just caged. It doesn't show all 7. That's only 5. The Locrian is the 6th one, and it, believe it or not, it's an E shape. And I'm sorry that this is difficult, but when you go into this cage, which is the E cage, the root cage. So remember, the C-shaped cage gives you the 3rd and the 4th of this R. The E-shaped cage gives you the 7th scale, 7 to 7, okay, to this 7. It gives you that and the root, because they're very close, right? Okay, and on the 3rd and the 4th, that's the 3rd, very close, half step apart. That's why they're in the same cage. Ta-da! The A cage is right here. Sorry, I don't have the drawing tool. The A cage is right there. Okay. So these are the cages. The D cage is right here. This is unwarped now. Remember, the D cage is going to warp over to give us these 2 guys. Are going to go over to here. We're going to add 1 string. We're going to repeat the 2, 3, 4. The 3 is going to be on top. We're going to warp the R and the 3. Okay. And when that happens, well, that's weird. There's something wrong with this one. Let's see if we can fix it right now, because that's the point, to take, to make sure that we know what we're doing here. We got 5 strings here, right? Let's erase this. My neighbor's out there driving around. I don't know. She must have sent them out or something. But I guess they're on continental hours there. So we'll get out of drawing mode. This 2, 3, 4 string, alright, it gets put up here. 2, 3, 4. So that becomes the 5th string, the 6th string in our keyboard here, but it's still unwarped. Then we want to warp those top 2 strings. Okay, so now we're going to exit out, because we're going to warp those. Princess, calm down, please. 1, 2, 3. We're going to warp those top 2 strings. Let's see what we got. There's our D. There's our D shape. 2nd inversion. 5 to root, root to 3 is shaped like a D. We did that yesterday. That looks like a funny shaped D. Okay. So that's where the cages are, and again the G cage, okay, from the 6th here, and you got to add a string, because this only has 5 strings. There's a 5-string Charlie here there. Alright, so let's get back to where we were. This diagram that covers this one particularly goes into another cage. Each one of these practically goes into another cage. It goes from one cage to the other cage. So the 5, 6 would actually go into the Mixolydian will actually go into the Aeolian cage. That's the difference when you keep going to the right like that. And that's it. You just be